Hello everybody, it's Numerologist Michelle Buchanan here with your numerology forecast for September 2025. Now every year in September, every one of us gets a double hit, a double dose of our personal year number energy. And that's because in September we have the same personal month number as our personal year. Now, the year itself, the universal year number that influences every single one of us is a 9, and the universal month number is a 9 for September. So that means for all of us, regardless of our own individual personal year number, we are all feeling the energy of the 9 universal month and year as well. And that is a time to focus on forgiveness and healing the past and completing projects and tying up loose ends and preparation for new beginnings, where it's out with the old to make way for the new. So that's always at the back of our mind. That's always sort of floating around throughout the whole year, and doubly so for the month of September. But then we want to go into our own individual personal year number, because that's a lot more accurate for us, and that has a lot more of an influence over our lives. So for those who don't already know their personal year number for 2025, let me give you the calculation method. So how you're going to calculate your personal year number that you're going to have for the whole of 2025 is you're going to add the day and month of your birth date to number 9. The reason we add to number 9 is because 2025 adds up to 9. And we're basically adding the day and month of our birth date to number 9. So because our personal year forecast is a forecasting number for the energy of the year, it is completely different from our life path number. That's the total of our entire birth date. So for example, for our birth date, our personal year number, the day and month of our year, we're going to add to 9. Let's use the birth date example, the 20th of April. All right, so we would go 2 plus 0 is 2, 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 9 is 15. Now the rule of thumb when we're adding a personal year number is any double digit numbers that we end up with, we're going to add them together to get a single number between 1 and 9. And that's our personal year number for the whole year. So in our example, the 20th of April, that we add to 9, and that gives us a total of 15, well, that's a double number, 15. So we're going to add the 1 and 5 together to get a single digit, which would be a 6 personal year number for that example. Let's use another example. Let's use the 12th of September, and we're going to add that to 9. So we're going to add 1 and 2 is 3, 3 and 9 is 12, and then we're going to add that 12 to 9 for 2025. So 12 and 9 is 21. And that's a double number. And remember the rule of thumb, keep adding double digits together to get a single number between 1 and 9. So we would add the 2 and 1 together, and that is a 3 personal year number. All right, that's a 3 personal year number. Add the day and month of your birth date to number 9. And then if you add up with any double digits that you end up with, add them together to get a single number between 1 and 9, and that's your personal year number for the whole year. All right, let's start now with the forecast for personal year number 1. You guys are in a year of new beginnings and self-discovery. So this is a month to initiate, and don't forget you're in this personal year of 1 and a personal month of 1. So double the dose of this 1 energy of new beginnings. So this is a month and a year, but especially a month to initiate new projects, to explore new opportunities and to be open to them, to be in the right mindset to attract them into your life, to believe that new opportunities are coming. This is also a time to establish your independence, prioritize your self-worth, and develop a really strong relationship with yourself. Number 1 is the energy of being an individual and being independent. So it is time to get to know yourself really well and back yourself up, be your own best friend. Time to plant seeds for future growth, to have courage and take initiative, Whether you're starting a new career, a new relationship, a new mindset, a new health regime, a new course of study, it is time to be to back yourself up, to have thought out plans and sort of put plans into action. Take action. You've got a green light to go ahead. So great time to start projects, initiate new ideas and dreams, pursue any career changes or education, develop your individuality, take risks, calculated, logical, practical risks, strengthen your self-confidence and self-esteem. Be patient and tolerant. Number one can enhance our impatience and our intolerance. One door closes, another one opens. So be ready for those new opportunities to come. I wish you a wonderful month. Now we're moving on now to personal year number 2. And you guys are in a year and a month because you get that double dose of that number 2. Now the number 2 energy is a slower pace. So, this whole year, and of course, especially this month of September, it is where things may slow down. And that's because it's giving you a lot of time and space to focus on your relationships and obtaining emotional balance. All right, so this is going to give you a lot of time to contemplate your relationship with yourself and building your self-esteem. It's learning to love yourself and be kind to yourself, because, you're not going to be able to have really strong relationships with others unless you have a healthy level of self-worth and self-esteem. And so the 2 energy slows everything down, so it gives us plenty of time and space to contemplate and have the realizations of and the aha moments about our own self and our relationship with ourselves. And it gives us an opportunity to acknowledge and release and heal any wounds, any patterns of behavior, release limiting beliefs, and sort of work towards and process sort of unresolved emotions and issues from the past. This is a time where we need to practice patience. We need to focus on nurturing and improving any existing relationships, being open to new relationships. But it's definitely a time to work on creating balance, peace, and harmony, okay, within our own selves as an individual, inner peace, but also creating harmonious, cooperative, peaceful relationships with others. All right, so this is a time to nurture partnerships and relationships, be extra cooperative. Don't overreact, because you can sometimes feel a lot more sensitive and a lot more emotional in a 2 energy. Make sure you've got time for rest. Make sure you do things that help instill a calm and peaceful mindset within you and a peaceful feeling, walks, spending time in nature, beautiful music, relaxation, and nice and calm. Don't force things to happen, and don't push your will on life. Life knows what it's doing. There is a greater, divine order and timing to events. And so just relax and let go and let God. So I leave that with you, and let's move on now to personal year number 3. This is a year where there is a strong focus on your self-expression, expressing yourself out in the world. Some people may feel an extra boost of creative expression. Definitely a time to be more social, to be a bit more joyful, to pursue any creative projects, engage in social activities, communicate your ideas, also communicate your thoughts and feelings. Have those awkward conversations, speak up about what you really think and feel. Also, a problem is better shared, even if you don't have anyone to talk to, but you journal. Get things out, don't hold them in. Great time to explore new hobbies, connect with like-minded communities and groups. Whatever makes you feel good, do more of it. The 3 is an energy of helping you to find your voice and to find your joy. Time to shine, a time to sort of step out of your comfort zone and sort of show the world who you are, or reach out to other people and be more open to connections. Some people don't really want to get out and about and be social if you're introverted, and that's okay. You can only do your best. Not everybody is a social person. Not everybody wants to express themselves to the world. But whatever that means for you in your own little corner of the world, do the best that you can to speak your truth and to increase the happiness and joy in your life, to be lighthearted, to sort of know that the 3 energy can be changeable, so you kind of have to be flexible and adaptable. It can be harder to focus and concentrate. Sometimes you can be easily distracted and can be scattered and changeable. So, try and follow through with things. Try not to be too distracted. Try to be responsible. So I'll leave that with you, and I hope you have an amazing month. And we'll move on now to personal year number 4. You guys are in a month and a year where, things do slow down in a 4. It is sort of a time to work diligently, one step at a time, one brick at a time. Slow and steady wins the race. It is a time to build that foundation. It can feel restrictive. It can feel like things are delayed. Can feel like things are taking a bit longer to come to fruition. But it really is about building strong foundations and embracing discipline and order and structure, being organized, working diligently on achieving goals, especially goals relating to home, finances, and career. Pay off debts, create a smart financial plan. If you want to improve in your career and your business, then upskill, a great time to learn and to develop. Definitely an energy that we need to persevere and not give up. It is a time to organize our life, get routines and systems in place to be productive, head down, bum up, pay bills, deal with outstanding issues. Great time for renovating homes, making repairs. Some people may even be involved in real estate or business projects. You've got to be realistic though. Any goals that you have, make sure that they are realistic, and to have a plan in place, to not just try and wing it, to be a bit more disciplined and focused and responsible. You do need to be patient and persistent, and you do need to be, not force things to happen. Life knows what it's doing. There is a divine order and a divine timing in life. But the more that you believe that things are working out and that there are results happening behind the scenes, the better this year is going to be for you. So be patient, be tolerant, and keep chipping away one step at a time. I wish you a great month, and I move on now to personal year number 5. You guys are in a year and a month of progress, movement, and change. Some people will feel a sense of freedom. And that freedom can sometimes literally be just the freedom of some of the stress that you experienced last year. Some people can feel a bit lighter. They can feel like there's a bit less on their plate, although it can be a very busy year and month. You have to be focused and structured and ordered, and be mindful of not scattering your energy and having your finger in too many pies. The more that you fragment yourself, the more you dilute the energy that you're putting in to various projects that you might have on the go at the same time. And the more diluted the energy, sometimes we don't do as good a job. So this is a year and a month to shake off restrictions and routines, shake things up. Bring a bit more adventure and excitement into your life. Shake up your energy. Be a bit, try some new things. Maybe try some new challenges or step outside of your comfort zone. It is a great month and year to travel and explore and do some different things, to expand your knowledge. Maybe dive into some unfamiliar territory and new subjects that you might not have much experience with, trying and learning some new skills. Diversing your activities, sort of be a bit more social, get out and about, be adaptable though, because it can be a very changeable energy. So anything can happen, and it usually does in a 5. So expect the unexpected. Don't have your plans too set in stone. Be able to chop and change. So if life throws you a curveball, you can adapt and land on your feet. Don't hold on to the past. Don't cling to what was. Be ready to pivot and jump and grab a hold of and run with whatever presents itself to you in the new. All right, I wish you a wonderful month, and I'll move on now to personal year number 6. You guys are in a year and a month where there is a strong focus on responsibility. There's a strong focus on the family, home, community responsibilities, being of service, nurturing and healing and counseling and assisting others. Also, prioritizing the relationships in your life, to be the shoulder to cry on, making home-related decisions, renovating, working on the garden. Some people are going to be, making changes also within relationships and within families and within the home. Also be aware that on one hand, you're there to be giving service and be that shoulder to cry on and focusing on the relationships in your home and domestic responsibilities in your life. But on the other hand, you cannot neglect your own health and well-being. You need to be mindful of not taking on too much out of duty and sort of being that dedicated martyr. So sort of be mindful of your own self-care and try and find that balance in between. Relationship issues that have been brewing beneath the surface may rise to be addressed. So, prioritize any relationships. This is an opportunity to improve relationships and make them better than they've ever been. It's also a time where relationship issues that are unresolvable or, outstanding issues that really, or relationships that really have come to the end of their road, for some people, there may not be any moving forward. Everyone's situations and relationships are different. But it's definitely going to put a bit more responsibility on your shoulders, especially in the domestic and relationship front this year and this month. There may be an element of self-sacrifice required, a need to be a selfless servant. But yeah, focus on your health, balance your self-care, make sure you recharge your batteries, set really good, strong boundaries, make sure that you heal and forgive, and let go of what no longer works in the relationships and the connections in your life. So I leave that with you. I wish you a wonderful month, and we move on now to personal year number 7. You guys are in a year where there is a strong focus and a month this month of introspection, going within, contemplation, asking the big questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What's the meaning of life? This is a time where a lot of people like to study and learn new philosophies, new subjects and topics, to engage in self-analysis, to understand why you are the way you are, to look at your behaviors, what triggers you, what programs have you got, what limiting beliefs do you have, what patterns of behavior do you have that really don't work for you, that are causing you to feel miserable, that are holding you back, that are keeping you looping in circles with attracting the same situations and not moving forward. So taking a look at that, taking a look at the way you are wired, taking a look at your childhood, taking a look at how you perceive yourself, others, and life. This is also a great month and year to work on health, detoxing, health and diets, getting, physical activity, maybe taking on some mindfulness, some spiritual and holistic practices that can improve your health and well-being, anything from breath work to meditation to yoga, qigong, just plain exercise, getting out and about more, spending time in nature, making sure you have time for one-on-one time. This is a 7 is definitely a month and a year where you can download those big aha moments and have those big realizations that really are pivotal in your life, that really catapult your growth and catapult your development from who you were at the beginning of a 7 year to a whole different person in a higher frequency with a much higher level of self-awareness and conscious awareness by the end of this year. So it's a really important a really important energy, the 7. Great time to journal, to record your thoughts and feelings, explore spiritual subjects, to increase and advance and enhance your connection to source energy. All right. Be very patient though. It's a slow moving energy. It isn't something that sort of is all about go, go, go. It is very much very, very slow, so that the answers, you can grow into the answers. You can grow into the wisdom. You'll get the most from a 7 when you are open and have space and quietness and time for that information to filter down into your conscious mind. So create silence, space, and solitude to download those aha moments and divine inspiration and guidance. So I'll leave that with you. I wish you a wonderful month, and let's move on now to personal year number 8. So you guys are in a year where there is a very strong focus on, all kinds of things, especially to do with money, business, and career. Okay, money, business, and career. And for some people, that is really, there may be changes in your career. You may be looking at making changes in your job and career. Some people, it's the same job, same career, but they may be changes in the workplace, changes in the role, new skills needed, new clients, new ideas, new work, new duties to perform, new management, new staff, new work colleagues. It's also a time to focus on your finances, to budget, to make, have strategic financial investments, to build a solid foundation for your future. Take charge of your career, plan out where you want to go, be really positive with regards to your mindset, your attitude of abundance. Be focusing on what you believe and what your perceptions are around your ability to attract wealth or financial security or job security. Work hard, be honest, put the energy in, take initiative, also aim for advancement for some of you, advancing your career, advancing in your field. For some of you, it's about asserting your authority. For many of you, it's about manifesting your goals, getting off your butt and being proactive and learning about the law of attraction, learning how you can invest and accumulate your time, your thoughts, your emotions into your empire and building the life that you want. Be responsible, don't overspend, don't be greedy, watch manipulative behavior and dishonesty, and watch the motivations behind the things you do. But also, deal with any outstanding legal issues, be very thorough, pay attention to detail, pay off debts, also claim your personal power. Don't let anyone overpower you. Don't succumb to being disempowered or feeling disempowered by other people, or even limiting beliefs and worries and fears or addictions. So I'll leave that with you, and I hope you have an amazing month and year. And let's move on now to personal year number 9. This is, don't forget, you are always in the same, you get a double dose of the universal year and universal month energy every single month and year. So, there is this double dose focus on this for you this whole year and this month about finishing what you've started, completion of any projects, any ideas, even if it's a course of study or, working on your personal growth about an ongoing issue that you've been chipping away at and trying to overcome. It is a time to create that step-by-step process to complete a cycle of healing, or a time to, for reflection and integrating past experiences and making sense of things so you can put the pieces of the puzzle together and come up with a full picture of who you are, where you've been, why you are the way you are, what's holding you back, what you're ready to move away from, what you've grown out of, any behaviors or negative thoughts, or a need to forgive and move or people, or forgive misfortunes, or, it's about understanding and releasing what was so that you have a clean slate for all this new and fresh energy that's coming in. You know, you're going to start feeling this new energy coming in the last quarter. So from October on, it's going to start coming into your life. And next year, you've got the full 1 year of new beginnings. So this is a time of closure and letting go this month and the rest of this year. Review and audit the last 8 years and evaluate your losses and gains, It's about having spiritual growth and growing spiritually and growing in your personal development and spiritual development. It's about being of service. Number 9 is the number of the humanitarian. It's about decluttering and downsizing yourself, your mind, your life, and your physical life, your physical space. So this is a time to release the past, prepare for new exciting adventures, prepare for your future, declutter and forgive yourself, others, and life, and any misfortunes, and create a sense of balance and harmony and peace and inner peace. All right, and I leave that with you, and I hope you have a fantastic month and year, and I will talk to you on the 1st of October. Take care. Bye.